Tires, start your engine!
Tuning up your work week. It's MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. And brought to you by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. Now, for the latest NASCAR news and opinions, and even better hair care tips, here's Woody Cain.
Welcome to MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Joey Meyer's on special assignment, so we've called for help, and Brett Moffitt answered the call, three-time winner in the Camping World Truck Series. Boy, you guys have been up and down on the sponsorship side, but the performance side, you've really been doing very well. I mean, 3 wins, a lot of guys would chew off a finger to have those.
Yeah, we're certainly going to take Kentucky and throw that one out the window. That was by far our worst performance, and man, it was a tough weekend. Kentucky's a tough racetrack, as we know, and but like you said, the success we've been having is great. Scott Zippadelli and everyone at HRE is super fun to work with. Tight-knit group, great results. Everything's been good on that performance so far. Like you said, sponsorship issues have played with my emotions quite a bit this year, but everything's looking better. We got iRacing to come on this weekend for Eldora, so I'm actually going to be on later today hosting some races and doing some racing online. Try to get you guys to give me some lessons on there, and can't wait to go to the racetrack again Wednesday. As you know, as a racer, if you have a bad week, you want to get to the racetrack as soon as you can the next week, and I'm ready.
Wipe it right out of the memory banks.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Now, have you been an iRacing guy in the past, or is this the first experience for you?
No, I have off and on. You know, I think sim racing is huge for us young kids, and anyone coming up, obviously William Byron's the prime example, right? And Ty Majeski, where they got their start on iRacing, and now they're great winning race car drivers. So, you know, in the past I raced a lot, and then Toyota and I think Chevrolet, everyone, Ford has these multi-million-dollar simulators now, which is like it to the next level.
Yeah,
so,
it's a whole room. It looks like the Enterprise.
For a while, that was my
there.
job. When I was with Michael Waltrip Racing, all I did was their sim work as soon as the testing rule came into play, and we couldn't go testing every week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's everything in the sport right now.
So Kentucky Speedway still coming into its own after the repave and a reconfiguration. And when we had qualifying on Thursday, Matt Crafton almost spins out, a 2-time champion. Myatt Snyder does spin out, tears up a truck, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be nuts at 3 and 4, but it didn't turn out that way. How come?
I thought the exact same thing, to be honest. I think everyone just kind of backed it down a little bit in the race. In the truck series, when we're qualifying at these mile and a halfs, you have to be able to go wide open. And when you're entering on a flat racetrack like Kentucky Speedway, after all that speed you gathered through 1 and 2 running wide open, then to enter on the bottom into 3, you just got to make that commitment, and whatever happens, happens. You know, I think Crafton did a really good job of saving it.
Me too.
As soon as you got out of where they drug tires there,
it
was almost impossible to hang on to. So hats off to him. Obviously, we saw what can happen with Myatt Snyder, and I think everyone just backed it down a little bit in the race.
Once they saw that, especially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that was a humbling experience for everyone on pit road.
Yeah, Matt said afterwards, I thought there was more grip there, and then found out not so much.
No, they'll turn for a lap, and obviously his was turning a little too good.
Yeah, absolutely. The Xfinity Series race there as well. Christopher Bell gets the victory, and the Cup Series, another win for one of the big 3. It was Martin Truex Jr. Here's what he had to say after his win on Saturday night at Kentucky.
You know, I think all 3 of us have great teams. You know, those 2 guys are great drivers. Obviously, I have a lot of respect for them, and it's pretty amazing to be a part of this group, honestly. I mean, I think when I was a kid and you seen Dale and Rusty and, you know, guys like that, Terry Labonte, and you had guys that just dominated and won everything, and you watching them, it was like, man, that's so cool. You know, they're heroes, and they're such a big deal. And to think that, you know, I'm one of those guys this year, and I guess last year too, it's amazing to me. I still pinch myself. I still enjoy every win like it's the first. And I realize just how lucky I am to be in this position. So, you know, I don't know. I don't think a whole lot about it other than that. Just try to show up every weekend and do the best job I can do for my team, because I know they're unbelievable and they deserve a great driver, and they deserve for me to get the job done behind the wheel. So they help me be a better driver every single weekend, and you know, I just try to hold up my end. So far it's been going pretty good, and hopefully we can keep it up.
Martin Truex Jr. leads 174 laps, just a dominating performance. And it wasn't just a couple of weeks ago that we were saying, my gosh, can anybody do anything with Harvick and Kyle Busch? And now Truex is going, wait, don't forget about me.
They've really come into their stride here in the summer. And I think at the beginning of the year we saw them not lack speed in a big way, but just enough. And once Cole Pearn got that car right for Martin Truex Jr., these are the performances that he had last year. These are the performances why he won the championship. And I think between Harvick, Kyle, and Martin, it's going to be a hell of a race this year. It
is. It's really shaping up that way. Don't forget now that you can get that race-winning die-cast at planbsales.com, Truex's car from Kentucky, as well as all the race-winning die-casts. You can get those at planbsales.com. A huge inventory. A lot of those cars will be collector's items, especially the first-time winners, the different paint schemes. Check them out at planbsales.com. And don't forget, this is also Bloomin' Monday because there was another top 10 finish for Kevin Harvick. He comes home in the 5th spot, so you can go by today and with a purchase tell him I want that free bloomin' onion because Kevin Harvick did it again, and he is piling up the bloomin' onions on
Thank
people
you,
right
Kevin.
now.
I love free stuff.
Yeah,
it's
who does
free,
it,
it's
right?
for me. So yeah, make sure to stop in and get that. I'm going to take my PR guy to lunch there today.
There you go. All right, that's a date. That's right, and you got to pick up the tab now that you said that too, right?
Dang.
Don't forget to check them out and go by over at Outback Steakhouse. A lot of great new specials going on. The steak and shrimp deal is really cool as well. We got a big show coming up for you here on Motorsports Monday. We're going to talk about the Eldora truck race coming up on Wednesday, and we'll also talk about the action coming up at New Hampshire Speedway. We've got Ben Rhodes, who's going to call in a little bit later, the most recent winner in the Truck Series. That came Thursday at his home track in Kentucky. It's all ahead on Motorsports Monday. Brett Moffitt is with us. Stick around, everyone.
I'm not blooming good, I'm blooming great. Put a shrimp on the barbie and sizzle my steak. Woo, I want that onion to bloom, and it get in my senses like a sonic boom. No rules, just right. So bold, so nice, and I'm so ready for that Outback steak tonight. Outback Steakhouse, that's what it's all about. Outback Steakhouse. Blooming great!
Are you a serious diecast collector? Do you have a favorite driver? Are you looking for a gift for a race fan? No matter what the question, the answer is always PlanBSales.com. Plan B has all the latest in diecast from Lionel and apparel, artwork, and other items for your favorite driver in NASCAR or other forms of racing. Go to PlanBSales.com, key your driver's name in the handy search window, and look at all the options. Your one stop for diecast and other motorsports collectibles is PlanBSales.com.
Kyle Petty here. My friends at Click & Close, the official mortgage provider of NASCAR, have stepped up this year to support Victory Junction through the fastest lap of the race program on NASCAR radio. So join our team. Go to clickandclose.com/NASCAR today to donate $43 or more and help us give the gift of camp to children with serious medical conditions. That's clickandclose.com/NASCAR, and just look for the Victory Junction logo. Thanks to Click & Close and NASCAR Radio for their support this season.
1 lap to go as Ben Rhodes leads the turn 1.
He's done a masterful job so far tonight, working his way through lap traffic. May have a couple more to navigate before he gets to 3, but the Kentucky kid, Ben Rhodes, heading for home.
All kinds of room coming down the backstretch right now. He may catch 1 or 2 more trucks before this one is over, but Ben Rhodes looking to punch his playoff ticket, sailing down the front stretch right now.
The fans come to their feet, and here comes Ben Rhodes. The Kentuckian wins the Buckle Up in Your Truck 225 in front of the home crowd here in the Bluegrass State.
That's how it sounded on the Motor Racing Network on Thursday night. Ben Rhodes gets his first victory of the season and punches his playoff ticket, and he joins us now on the guest line. Ben, have you come down off that high yet? That had to be a hugely emotional win to do it at your home racetrack for the first time this season.
Man, that sounded pretty good. I'm just glad I got
No,
to
it
live
did.
it again.
Brett Moffitt is here with us as well. He's disagreeing with you just a little bit.
It sounded pretty good. Well, hey guys, how's it going? It's always an honor to come on here on the show with you. I appreciate that. But yeah, that was a nice intro. I can hear some more of that this year, but we got a lot of work to do still. We've got 1 win into the playoffs, but there's still 5 races, so we're not completely safe yet. As long as there's not a whole bunch of other new winners, then we're okay. But we're still going to be a little bit focused on points here. Still got our goal of top 5 finishes. Still have some strong performances in the rest of the regular season.
Tell us about the call from your crew chief at the end of that race, the final pit stop, to only take fuel and no tires. A lot of folks were going, oh my gosh, this can't work, but somehow you guys found a way to make it happen.
Yeah, I've heard that from everybody. Now, so inside the truck, I have no idea what's going on. My crew chief actually pulled me in. He said, hey, we're going to be pitting in 15 laps. And then 7 laps later, he says, come in now. And I'm in turn 3 and 4, past my braking point. So I'm stomping on the brakes harder than I've ever stomped on them before. We get it woke down, come on the pit road, and then there's a huge fire in front of us. I think it was actually in Brett Moffitt's box.
It was.
There's a big fire. He made it interesting for me. I had to, go around the fire, get into our box. But I didn't think nothing of it. I just knew that I was super tight. I knew that we needed no tires if we were going to make up that time that Stuart Friesen had on us. So I thought it was a good call. But I was really concerned with just getting the truck freed up so that way once we got that track position, I could actually hold on to it, because it was going to be tough to hold off a guy with two right sides and then, me with no tires.
So, Ben, you and your crew chief, Eddie, have had a ton of speed when it comes to these, like Kansas, again, the repave at Kentucky. What do you think it is that makes everything work so well with that 41 truck at that type of racetrack? And obviously, you've had a lot more speed than your results have shown. You've had a lot of bad luck this year, so I think you do deserve to be in that playoff spot. And I look forward to racing you down there. But what do you think makes your team work so well at that style of racetrack?
Well, I appreciate that, Brett. I would say it's just this setup that we've developed. The mile and a halves make up such a big part of our schedule. We really focused on it in years past to make sure that we were good at them. We felt like if we wanted to be contender for the championship, we have to be good at them. After all, the final race of the season is a mile and a half, and it's different. It is Homestead, which is super unique, but it's still a mile and a half, and I still felt like we had to be strong if we wanted to contend. So we put our heads together. We have a really good setup that we developed now, and I've been really happy with it. I think it suits my driving style. And if you look at some of the bumpier tracks, we're not as good at the bumpy tracks. That's the next step in our evolution for our notebook, for our setup. Bumpy tracks we're not so good at. Old worn out tracks with a smoother surface we're okay at. But the really smooth racetracks like Texas and Kansas and here at Kentucky Speedway, we've had speed, but we need to figure out how to get better at the bumpy ones, because as you know, that's a lot of our schedule as well.
That might be the very first time I've ever heard any driver on this show say, our bumpy track program is not where we need it to be, right?
Yeah. Well, note to self as a competitor, attack Ben on the bumpy tracks.
Oh my gosh! So Ben, take us through the way that this season has progressed for you guys, because a lot of folks were wondering if there's going to be a big learning curve with you guys making the switch to Ford in the offseason. Has that been the thing that you've had to wrestle with, or has it been several smaller issues?
No, it's been pretty darn smooth. I'll tell you, actually, I'm up at Thor Sport Racing today, and Ford is putting on a big lunch, a celebration lunch. They're all coming down from Michigan, making the drive as we speak. They're going to be here all day. It's been pretty awesome. They've welcomed us with open arms, and they've been big supporters of this program because we're kind of carrying the flag for them in the Truck Series. So it's been huge for us. I feel like they've been, really, really helpful this season. They've been behind us 100% when we were having issues with keeping these NT1 motors running. Back at Atlanta, Texas, Kansas, Gateway. They were in our corner the whole time trying to diagnose it. They sent a bunch of engineers down to Thor Sport Racing to help us figure out what was going wrong. So I think it's been a really smooth transition. As far as engineering and all the support we've been getting, it's been great. But the biggest transition that we had was really just getting the trucks built. It was just a matter of getting the trucks built and getting bodies on them and getting them all, converted over to Ford F-150s, where, before that, we were all sitting pretty ready to go to Daytona, and we had to cut all the bodies off, move motor mounts, move everything. We had to redo the whole truck, essentially, a lot of hard fab and finish fab work. And it put us behind, and that was the single biggest thing we wrestled with. But I mean, the transition has been awesome. We've really been enjoying it.
Yeah, Ben, I think having that support of the manufacturer as a driver and the confidence that instills in you is huge. So that's awesome to hear everything's going well with Ford. And I think
I think he was really sincere when he said that, actually.
I do. As a driver, that's what you want. You want your manufacturer to be backing you in that way. Yeah. And I think that puts confidence in him, his teammates, and everything else. But moving forward to Eldora, I heard you had quite a funny quote about how you felt on the dirt, and this will be my first time racing in a truck at Eldora. What do you look forward to the most? What do you look for in practice to be fast in the race?
Yeah, so I said I was like Bambi on ice. Not look for it. I'm just gonna say it. It's a struggle bus. It is. I'm driving it, so if you want to hop in, you can hop on in with me. My teammate Matt Crafton, Justin Haley, Stuart Friesen, these guys. There's a lot of guys in our series that run dirt cars every single week, and they see this as their opportunity to get the win and punch their ticket to the playoffs. For me, I honestly see this race as a top 5 finish. Getting some stage points, a top 5 finish for me would be like a win. Because the last time I raced dirt at Eldora, or dirt at all, was Eldora last year. The last time before that was Eldora the year before. The last time before that, I was 7 years old. This is all new to me. It's something that I enjoy. I enjoy the challenge, but at the same time, it's just for survival. On top of that, we have people that are coming into the series that have never even driven a truck before, that are coming here with their eyes on the trophy, saying this is my time to shine, my time to get a win. And you have people in the series that are racing for points. They have championship implications for this race. So it's very technical, like iffy track for me. But I really enjoy it. Now that we're in the playoffs, I can just go there and have fun. And that's all I can say for you, Brent, is you're in the playoffs, just have fun with it.
I will keep that noted. Survival is key.
Now, Brett and I were talking off air before you called in about how a lot of heavy hitters from the dirt world are going to be in this truck race, but that it's still kind of a different animal for them. You know how the truck reacts. They know how the dirt track reacts. So how challenging is it to blend the two? A guy with a lot of great dirt experience might not necessarily be able to translate that to the truck. How come?
Well, the trucks, they're just so different. They're not built for dirt by any means. They're 3,400 pounds. So picture that going into the corner. You have so much less tire than what those dirt cars have. Less stagger, less everything that you need to go fast on dirt. So when you take all these tools and tricks away from them, they're back to just trying to get a 3,400 pound race truck around this track. And I will say the single biggest advantage that I think they have on us is really their knowledge of the dirt, their car control over the dirt. How used they are to hanging it out. But I will say you don't hang the trucks out that much, and it's actually pretty comfortable for me. The biggest thing is just knowing what's happening. We get into the race, and I'll say, yeah, first stage the truck's driving really good. We'll speed. We could run down the leaders like we have in years past. And then we get to the second stage, and I have not a clue what the track is going to do, not a clue what I need on my truck. And then lo and behold, these dirt guys, they're passing us up, and they're super fast because they made adjustments for what they know is going to happen. And I have not a clue, and I'm sitting there scratching my head in the truck like, how do we lose so much speed?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ben, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on the big win at your home track, and we'll look forward to catching up with you on the dirt out at Eldora on Wednesday.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, and good luck to you, Brett. I look forward to seeing you guys up there.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. Ben Rhodes, the most recent winner in the Truck Series, and our coverage of the Eldora Dirt Derby comes your way Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll have all the action, the heat races, the whole ball of wax. Check us out on the Motor Racing Network. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got to take another break now on Motorsports Monday. We'll talk a little bit of Xfinity racing when we come back.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Grunt style. The American fighting spirit is in everything we make. We are 500 patriots and veterans strong, bringing clothing manufacturing back to the United States of America. Always moving forward, never retreating, never giving up. We are Grunt Style, and this will defend. Get yours at gruntstyle.com.
I'm not blooming good, I'm blooming great. Put a shrimp on the Barbie and sizzle my steak. Woo, I want that onion to bloom, and it get in my senses like a sonic boom. No rules, just right. So bold, so nice, and I'm so ready for that Outback steak tonight. Outback Steakhouse, that's what it's all about. Outback Steakhouse, blooming great.
I'm Kevin Harvick, and it's another Bloomin' Monday. Ask for your free Bloomin' Onion tonight at Outback Steakhouse. Now it's back to Woody Cain and Joey Meyer.
Joey Meyer on special assignment, but little Joey is here as well. It's about the kids menu. He thinks it's about him, but it's really about the kids menu. But go get that free Bloomin' Onion. It is Bloomin' Monday because of another top 10 finish for Kevin Harvick, and he is certainly piling those up. Xfinity Series was also at Kentucky Speedway, and Christopher Bell went to victory lane. That race really came down to the wire, and there were 3 or 4 guys who had a real good shot at winning that thing.
Yeah, certainly. I think seeing these Xfinity regulars go and beat the Cup guys, that's what we all want to see, isn't it? And we don't mind Kyle Busch racing when he finishes third to 2 regulars.
But here's the thing. Why don't people get all enraged when it's Kyle Larson? Why is it only Kyle Busch that seems to make people mad when he races?
People hate winners.
I guess
when
that's
you
what it is.
win that dang much, people will start to hate you. But yeah, I mean, it was a great race at Kentucky. I think we saw them make some adjustments to the tracks with the tire dragging from the truck race to the Xfinity race, and then again from the Xfinity to Cup. And I think they made the track better all weekend by doing that. And for being a repave, made for some pretty good racing.
Yeah, no rain to wash any of that off too, so it just got more and more and more as we went along. All right, let's check out what Bell had to say after he got the victory at Kentucky.
Well, at these style racetracks with the repaves and really narrow like it is, the air is so important. And yesterday in practice, our car was really good, and I felt like we had a car capable of competing for the win. And then I made that mistake in qualifying, and I kept telling myself that if my car's not driving good at the beginning of the race, don't freak out. And then whenever we started, I was really loose, and I was really nervous because I felt like once we got in clean air, I was just going to go looser. But Jason does an awesome job, and our entire Ream team does an excellent job at executing. And by the time we got up to the front, we were driving as good as anybody and had a car that was able to compete for the win.
Additional questions here? Go to Chris.
Chris, MikeHedgeFans.com. Christopher told a small group of reporters us last weekend that you had to be the man in the Xfinity Series competition. Is this how you start to do that and leave that legacy?
We're gaining on it. We're 1 win closer. So I just got to keep digging, man. 2 wins is not a successful year for us. We need to continue to win and just win more races. So we go to the racetrack every single week with a shot to win, and for the most part, we start the race with a shot to win every week. So it's just a matter of me capitalizing on Joe Gibbs Racing's fast race cars and my smart crew chief over here, and try to minimize my mistakes and hopefully be there at the end.
So Christopher Bell talks about one of the things that jumped out at me there is we go to the racetrack every week with a shot to win. Now, as a driver, is it more frustrating to be close but not quite, or to be out to lunch?
That's
they're both
tough.
frustrating.
I've been in both situations.
Yeah.
I've been in non-winning equipment, back of the field Cup cars, and that's just demoralizing. But Christopher Bell has a great opportunity here. He's in Joe Gibbs Racing's Xfinity program, which has proven to be the keynote team to be with, and he admits it. And he's like he said, two wins is not enough. He needs to keep performing, and he's gonna keep performing, and it's gonna be a snowball. As soon as he starts winning more regularly, they're just gonna come one after another, and I think he's gonna do a great job with that this season.
And you look at the standings in the Xfinity Series as we come down to the stretch run here before the playoffs. We were talking off air before, guys like Daniel Hemrick and Cole Custer are right there as well and could win at any time.
They're making it really fun to watch. I'm buddies with Cole Custer. I've always liked Daniel Hemrick. I think seeing them finally rise to that performance level where they are competing for wins and not against just regulars. They're competing for wins against Cup guys on a regular basis now. And I think just a few more tweaks to their teams, both, and they're going to be winning races and winning multiple races this season.
Playoffs should be a lot of fun in the Xfinity Series
awesome.
For sure. Yeah, it is definitely a lot of fun to watch. We talked about you guys going to Eldora this week. The other part of the Top National Series heads to New Hampshire. Everybody says that track is so hard to get a handle on. Why?
It's just flat. I think a lot of us that come from the asphalt late models racing flatter racetracks, we tend to do a little bit better there at New Hampshire. I've always liked New Hampshire, running there in the East, in the Cup, and I think it makes for fun racing, but it makes for hard racing, and you just have to be so dedicated. It's so easy to overdrive the car, but all in all, I think New Hampshire Motor Speedway is a great racetrack and produces a lot of good racing.
Now, last year they put the goo, for lack of a better phrase, the sticky substance there. How did the track react? What did you think of it?
It makes it ever changing. It almost makes it more like a dirt track because it takes a while for it to come in, and then once we all start running it, it starts to go away, and you got to start moving your line around. So I think you just got to be willing to make that move to it first, and you got to be willing to work it in. And when it starts to give up speed, you got to be willing as a driver to sacrifice it and say, hey, I'm going to commit to this new line. I'm going to try to run this one in now. So I think that makes for good racing. And, it's kind of monkey see, monkey do. Once you see someone up there going fast, you got to get up there in a hurry.
They'll copy them, absolutely.
Exactly.
That's the way the whole garage is.
You got to be the first one there.
Yeah, and then see if you can get away a little bit and make them have to play catch up.
Exactly.
The one thing I hear guys repeatedly say at tracks that apply the substance is it takes a while for it to activate. What are they talking about?
It's just the way the heat works. It's not sticky until it gets hot, and you don't want to be the first one on it. It's a game of cat and mouse. I'm telling you, you got to work it into the right amount, and then all of a sudden it's a light switch.
Tires.
Exactly, yeah. The heat and friction from the tires and from the exhaust and just the engine heat. It finally comes in, and then it's super fast. But it takes a while to do that, and like we've seen at past races, you can bust your butt on it if you go up there too soon.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about New Hampshire as we continue on in the program. But first, we want to tell you about Ridge wallets. They're really cool. I don't know if you got one like me, but mine looks like George Costanza's, like it's about to explode at any moment. You see it on the screen there. It's held together by the elastic band, and there's all kinds of good cases: titanium, carbon fiber, aluminum. You see there, you can slide the cards in. You can get 10% off today with free shipping worldwide by going to ridgewallet.com. That's ridgewallet.com. Use the promo code RACING. And every time I see one of those, I think, you know what, I got to do something.
I think I'm just going to walk away with this one off the desk at the end of the show.
That's all right. We'll keep an eye out and see. We got one of those beepers at the door, so if you try to go out without having it scanned, you'll be okay. But look at it. It's really cool for somebody who, I don't know, when you travel, you got to keep a lot of receipts and all kinds of stuff like that, so it makes a big difference. Check them out at ridgewallet.com. Use that promo code RACING. One more break here on MRN Motorsports Monday. When we come back, the guys from JTG Doherty Racing will tell us a little more about New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Stay with us, everyone.
I'm not blooming good, I'm blooming great. Put a shrimp on the barbie and sizzle my steak. Woo, I want that onion to bloom, and it get in my senses like a sonic boom. No rules, just right. So bold, so nice, and I'm so ready for that Outback steak tonight. Outback Steakhouse, that's what it's all about. Outback Steakhouse, blooming great.
On the racetrack, you can only go as far as your engine can take you. It's the same on the highway. Making a run with a Detroit engine under the hood gives you the industry-leading fuel economy, reliability, and durability your business needs. The Detroit DD13, DD15, and DD16 engine solutions are specifically engineered to make a run as profitable as possible. Don't just want better business solutions, demand them. Learn more at demanddetroit.com.
Hello, MRN Crew Call. Yes, you want to schedule an appointment with Sammy, Joe, and Rocco? I can do that. Now that comes with an all-access look down onto pit road. Are you okay with that? Sure, it's as close as you'll get to interviewing the race car. Now, do you need a reminder? Okay, you're scheduled for Wednesday at noon Eastern. Just come to MRN.com or the MRN Facebook page and ask for Crew Call. We look forward to seeing you. Goodbye.
Hey, this is Joey Logano, and you're listening to MRN Motorsports Monday.
Back on Motorsports Monday as we get set for Eldora on Wednesday and New Hampshire this coming weekend. Brett Moffitt is here, 3-time winner in the Camping World Truck Series. Here's one I've always wanted to ask you. Everybody hears the name Shiggy Hattori, and it's just cool to say. It's fun. But what don't people get about him that you think they should know?
I think Shiggy's work ethic is, many people don't see it, but that is what has given me the opportunity to be in this number 16 truck for him. He works incredibly hard at finding sponsorship and making them lasting partnerships. He had Eisen. He's had Eisen on a few years, but this is their biggest year yet, coming in at 9 races so far. And he's just rekindling and growing these sponsorship opportunities and giving me, a young guy with lack of funding in most situations, to be able to race and to race for a championship and winning equipment. So I think his work ethic is second to none, and what he's doing for the sport and the series is truly tremendous.
Now, you guys are one of the few, if not the only one left running the built motor that TRD. Most of the rest of them have switched over to the Ilmor motor. What are the advantages or disadvantages, particularly on dirt this week? Yeah,
well, like we talked before the show, it's the season goes on, it seems to be raising more question marks in my head than are getting answered with the built motor versus the Ilmor. I know at the 1.5 miles when we're wide open for a lap, we tend to struggle on 1 lap speed just because we don't have quite the power they do. But on restarts, it's a big advantage because we got more rear end gear. So it's a trade-off, certainly. And it's been working out for us this far. And I think on dirt, you're going to see less of a benefit for either, just because the biggest thing is going to be hooking those tires up. And no one's going to be using all the power they got regardless. So I think this is going to be the evenest playing field that we've had as far as the engine deal goes. And I know even the KBM trucks, I believe, are going to Mark Conquest's JGR motor for this weekend. So I think there's going to be a lot less disparity between the two.
It'll be interesting to watch for sure. That'll be coming up this Wednesday night on the Motor Racing Network. All right, we were talking about New Hampshire a little bit earlier, and as we have been doing all season long, the guys from JTG Doherty Racing weigh in on what we can expect up in New England this weekend.
Just a racetrack that it's a challenge because you got to get the car to turn, but it's really easy with the track being so flat on getting loose. Whether they put the VHT down or whatever they call that thing now. So track position, like every racetrack that we go to, but really at Loudon, it's a track position race. Trying to get strategy, get up front. We've been pretty good there in the past, so I'm looking forward to that race. And same thing, you can go there and it could be near 100 degrees, and that's a couple of those races I've had, some of my hottest races that I've ever felt there. Brake heat's always tough there because you're on the brakes so much, so a fun race. But as you said, the fan base is always awesome there, and only having one race there now, I think we're going to see a packed house there.
It is a unique racetrack. It's just very flat compared to the short tracks that we go to. Like you said, the fans up there are awesome. Tons of people show out for that race every year. Just a really nice area too. Really neat scenery. Nice to be up there and get out up into the Northeast.
Going to be a lot of fun for sure. And one of the things that AJ mentioned there is about the brakes. And we don't hear a lot about that anymore because the technology has evolved so much. But there are still places where you really have to take care of them.
We are spoiled as drivers because if we have a brake failure, we just blame the brake companies. And they come back with a better product. But yes, New Hampshire's very hard. I see AJ having a great run there. It seems to fit road course racers, the braking zones, the style of driving. But I think it's something you got to look out for.
Speaking of that, I know you guys aren't going to race it, but we've had the test for the last couple of weeks at Charlotte for the new Roval. It looks like that's going to be an insane race, doesn't it?
I'm glad I get to watch that one. I want to see how it all works out at first.
Yeah, I know they've done some rearranging and some tweaking along the way, and I guess it's good to have the input from the guys after they test on it a little bit to try and make it a little bit more like a road course rather than something that you see, for example, for the Rolex 24 at Daytona.
Yeah, I love the idea of the Roval. I think it's going to work. We just need to fine-tune it, and if it doesn't work the first time, don't worry, we can fix it and move forward.
All right, don't forget, guys, we've got a big week coming up on the Motor Racing Network. Thanks to Brett Moffitt for filling in while Joey Meyer was on special assignment. 3-time winner in the Truck Series for Hattori Racing Enterprises. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, the Eldora Dirt Derby right here on the Motor Racing Network. I'm Woody Cain. We'll see you right back here next week for MRN Motorsports Monday.